Hi there, it's David Startouch. I was given a homework assignment by my life coach, more my business coach. That's right, even coaches have coaches. The assignment was to write a blog on fear. Because today found myself, and yesterday, I found myself really afraid. I've been experiencing fear, even terror at the idea of leaving the public sector. I mean, leaving it completely. And jumping into this private sector of coaching. And so what that means is leaving my security blanket and jumping into what I'm fully supposed to do. Now, obviously, I even advise people to dip your toe and get things started, which I've been doing myself. And when you're stepping into an area, a vision that is compelling me to take some action and make some big changes, it can be really scary. Now, maybe you can relate. Maybe you've been doing something worthwhile and meaningful for many years. In my case, I've been working 4.5 years at the hospital, teaching psychology, and doing lots of coaching, and I became really good at it. However, maybe you also relate to this, not having a feeling that you're doing enough, that you're not reaching your full potential, that you may have developed some skill sets, or you did definitely develop some skill sets, I know I did, and yet you're still not fully utilizing them. And there's this doubt, this fear that keeps showing up. So when I was talking to my therapist about this, and she kept saying, it sounds like your edge. Like you're getting close to something and you're afraid. And I talked with another friend about this, and it sounds like your edge. Two completely unrelated people. And when I was a yoga instructor in DC, we would often find the pose, we'd breathe, and we'd lean into the pose. We'd start to try to find where that pose has our edge, that point where it was difficult yet not painful, but you'd feel the stretch. And you'd really start to sink into it. And then from once you found the pose, continuing to engage all the muscles and breathe. And I found myself in a similar situation, having just launched my website and getting all sorts of criticism about how to make it better and improve it, and taking that constructive criticism and implementing it, and having to let go of those fears and doubts that were coming up, because for the first time, I'm actually stepping in to fully do what I'm supposed to do. And I forgot to put my phone on silence. I do apologize. All right, so we're just going to keep rolling with it, because one of the things I've been afraid of is not being perfect. And this is not going to be a perfect process. I've been leaning in and kind of just feeling into this. And I was given an assignment to write a whole blog on fear, which I'm going to do. This is the first start. But I decided to go ahead and just make an impromptu video, kind of pour out my heart and bare my soul a little bit, because I'm afraid of showing up. I don't know when this first started for me. I don't know why it started, but I've been afraid of showing up for years, and I've hidden behind jobs. Let someone else define my job position, and then I'll do it really well. Being the best kept secret in the coaching world, where I'd work with a few people and be undercharging for my services. And most common thing I heard, you're the best kept secret in Boulder, or best kept secret in DC. And I really didn't want to be a secret. And again, busy day. So I'm leaning into this fear of showing up, trying to find my edge, feeling it out, and just looking at what this doubt and fear has to me. What's the message of the fear? What does it have to teach me? And the first thing it has to teach me is that I think it's really the smartest thing for anyone to do is to just lean into the fear and make mistakes. From an entrepreneurial perspective, it's about making mistakes quickly. And I'm afraid I can't talk, and I'm afraid I'm going to make mistakes, and afraid I'm going to be bad at editing, and afraid that, all of this technology that I've acquired and been learning how to use, I'm still not going to use it properly. Like, there's some manual out there that I should be following, and maybe there is, and I don't know about it. Maybe there's these rules about how you're supposed to market yourself and not be real. I have 13 years of education, and I still have lots of fear. Wow, I am super popular tonight. Okay, so I'm just gonna let those go. And so maybe in all of this, the bigger lesson is for me that it's going to be a process. And so I took my camera out today and I was helping a friend launch one of her dreams, and we were getting some before and after pictures. So we got a bunch of before pictures, and I'd set everything up for this video and had everything done the night before, and I just didn't do it. I was afraid. And so then I woke up and I got a message like, "Oh, hey, I'm starting this business. I'd like to do some before and after pics. What would you be able to do it tomorrow?" I'm like, "I'm actually free today." It's like, "Oh, great. What about 1:00?" I'm like, "Okay." But I could even do 12:30. Oh, really? So we went over there. It was so fast. Like everything just clicked and flowed, and it was way easier. I packed everything up, was in my car within 5 minutes. Now, in the back of my mind, I was thinking I'd set everything up, and here I am undoing all of it. And oops, looks like some annoying background showed up. Pardon that. And like that, yeah, something on my background screen. I didn't prepare for it. Little things. So I guess for me, the fear is just that, there's a wrong way to do it, and maybe there is. And I paused for a moment to start writing about fear yesterday. I was writing this, I am writing this, a long blog about abundance, and on the advice of my consultant, who's also helping me build my website. And when she was giving me some updates on the website itself, that's where this whole topic of fear came from. And the stories that played through my head, I mean, maybe you can relate. Maybe you've got stories that show up when you're afraid. And if you take a moment to really breathe and kind of notice those stories, they don't really fit. They don't really fit the situation, yet we keep playing them. So my question is, what is the doubt about? Not just the fear, but the doubt. Am I doubting myself to be able to show up? And the answer was yeah. I've worked, the company itself is doing well. Like I'm coaching people. I'm finally stepping into where I need to be. I raised my rates to the most appropriate level for people to get the best results. And quite frankly, to distinguish myself from therapists, because what I do isn't therapy. It's transformational. And while therapy, we dig in the past, yes, I'm a licensed professional counselor. That means therapist. But I'm a clinical evaluator is how I use my therapy background. I work in the hospital. Oh, it's going to be interruption after interruption, so I apologize. If you can hear the train. Shotgun mic, so maybe you can. But I use my skills to diagnose and look for problems or help people who are in a moment of extreme crisis. If I can coach them in the emergency room to get them out into a therapist, I do. Otherwise, we often hospitalize an inpatient. And I started getting referrals from doctors who knew people and said, "You know what, you should talk to this guy. He can really help you with your anxiety." And I just never thought that it's that fear of, what if I miss my clients, miss the right person I'm supposed to help because I'm too narrow? That I put my niche out there of, well, I help you with anxiety and stress management and improving productivity, as these things all tend to work together, and I'm a very calming person. And right now you're seeing me in my anxious state because I'm processing some emotions that have been within me that don't normally show up. Usually I'm a much more confident person, especially when I'm helping other people. Yet for some reason, the idea of showing up is terrifying. And showing up to do what I'm supposed to do. And there's really no way around it. I mean, I could just continue to work for other people and attempt to get by, attempt to feel like I'm doing the right thing by following someone else's mission. There's a great little quote that says, "Entrepreneurs are the only people who work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40," which is so true. And I work a lot. Like I work 24 hours at the hospital. I'm often doing the PhD. I'm working on my business and doing coaching. And at one point I was teaching at Front Range Community College. And when I was really broke, I was doing all of those things and working at Starbucks, 80, 100-hour weeks. And, I got through. But I paid a price. I paid a debt, or accumulated debt, sleep debt, energy debt, exhaustion. And when it came down to restarting my business, it was a total surrender moment. It was this moment of, okay, I don't know what to do. You got to help me. And then I had some more clients show up. Like out of the blue, I had a relationship start improving. I started feeling happier and healthier, and I let go of things that weren't serving me anymore. It's literally like getting out of the mud and your car's suddenly free on the road and you just feel that exhilaration of motion. That's what it felt like. And I'm not really sure, one way or the other, if this blog is even going to make any sense, but I figured I might as well start being honest and get used to talking to the camera and introduce you to my setup, why I'm here. We've got my podcast mic reference, my computer screen. I do editing and work with clients on. I do telehealth, telecoaching, work with people around the country, around the world. And I'm finally reaching out to those who I've worked with before and asking for testimonials because I finally hit the point where I'm ready to take that leap. And I think that's what scares me the most, is realizing that I'm ready to leap and I'm doing it. And I'm on a path that I've never done before, never done successfully. Initially, when I created my business, I just had these ideas, but I wasn't ready to start doing it. And then since October, I've been doing it. The clients have been coming to me, and I haven't really been showing up. I haven't been marketing my business. I haven't been owning my name, David StarTouch, and owning my spiritual part, my woo-woo. I'm that grounded woo-woo guy. I talk about the spiritual things, and as well as the transpersonal and the contemplative and the neuroscience, life hacking and brain hacking so that we can be more effective. There's all of these parts of myself that I've just kind of kept hidden because I was afraid there wasn't really any part of them in the world. So it's going to be interesting to see. If you're watching this video, be sure to check out my blog because I don't know what's actually going to show up on this blog as I write it. My consultant's been helping me write my messages and keep things on point, but I decided to do this video now. Attempting to use everything right now, like the teleprompter, and just to try to stay focused, which is working. I was kind of surprised. And to get started and just to see how things are. And maybe this video won't turn out. Maybe I'll mess up the audio levels again. Maybe it will be a good start, but I think right now it's best to be authentic and vulnerable and just real, because I ask my clients to do this, and if I can't do it myself, then I'd be the biggest hypocrite. So this is me being afraid and me still showing up anyway and putting something out there, doing something creative. And I'm just going to put this out as it is. And on the future ones, I'm going to start editing more. I think it's just important right now to just embrace the raw content and just show it. If you'd like to work with me and just book a consult on davidstartouch.com. Again, I help with anxiety and stress management and improving productivity. I have 2 subspecialties that I'm really focusing on or allowing to come to me. And that's bipolar coaching for those who are bipolar and want a more holistic approach to stay out of the hospital, reduce medication safely. And again, I work collaboratively with psychiatrists and counselors. I don't do therapy. And then my other subspecialty is trauma, rebuilding after trauma. My research is on trauma. In fact, I'm also going to put a link in the description about a survey you could take that would help me out immensely. If you've experienced trauma 2 years ago or more, this is on post-traumatic growth. Now, it will also mention something about past life memory. If you don't have past life memory, just mark no, move on. Have a chance to win a $100 gift card and a $50 gift card. I've got 3 in the mix, 2 50s and 1 100. And that's for my dissertation. And part of rebuilding after trauma is really being in fear and owning your story and taking the step forward. So just trying to walk the talk. This is David StarTouch. I'm going to sign off now. Namaste.